Well, more evidence tonight of left-wing lawlessness in Democrat-run cities. Just look at your screen. New video shows a mob of teens overtaking city streets in downtown Chicago this week. And at one point, the chaos was reportedly just blocks away from a home owned by the Illinois governor, prompting police finally to stage snowplows to protect the area. And that's not all. In Philadelphia, new video shows a deadly ambush at a gas station on the city's north side. The suspects fired multiple times at the victim, identified as 30-year-old Brandon Dixon. The victim reportedly leaves behind a 5-year-old daughter. Now, this senseless violence is just the latest of the failure of the Democrats' defund police policies that have left cities less safe, less secure, and more violent. But Joe Biden, he wants you to forget about the summer of 2020 and to forget about all this violent crime. So he's now calling on cities to hire more cops as the crime surge intensifies and becomes a political liability for Democrats. But it was Democrats themselves who pushed to reduce the number of officers on the streets. What we are seeing across this entire country is a complete devolution of the Democratic Party, a complete disdain for the country, and a complete unwillingness to admit their failures as great American cities continue to spiral out of control. Here for a reaction, Fox News contributor Leo Terrell, along with New Hampshire congressional candidate Gail Huff. Thank you both for being here with me on this Friday the 13th. We're making Friday the 13th great again by really getting into these issues that really affect all of these issues, transcend partisan lines, Gail. It doesn't matter what party you belong to. Whether it's, especially if you're middle class, you're a regular person working hard for a living. You used to be a TV reporter. We've been hard on the media. But the fact is that, you're running for New Hampshire, for the U.S. House seat in New Hampshire. When it comes to what can be done here and what the messaging has been when it comes to defund the police, what do you think has been the largest impact, and how can this be reversed at the federal level?
Well, we have a lot of problems, no question about it, and thank you very much for having me on. This is a problem that is happening all across the country, including here in New Hampshire. I am a law and order candidate. I believe that we have to get back to basics. We have to get back to funding the police. We have to make sure that they have the resources they need. It is unbelievable. When I saw that video, I almost cried. I mean, the reason I got into this race is because I was angry. And I'm still angry. I'm angry at Joe Biden's administration. I'm angry at what they're doing to American families. What if that was me in that gas station with my granddaughter, little Cece?
It could have been anybody. It could have been anybody.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. I mean, it could have been anybody. It could have been you. People should know that you're married to Scott Brown. You understand politics. You know what can and cannot be done. And you're stepping up now to try to make a difference. And Leo, I have to say that, Los Angeles, we're both from Los Angeles. We see this random crime, but it comes not just from defunding the police, but the rhetoric of antagonizing the police, of condemning the police, of an attitude that the police somehow are the bad guys. And we still see that manifesting in Los Angeles, don't we?
Absolutely. And first of all, I just want to be very clear. I endorse Gail because she is a law and order congressional candidate. But Tammy, basically, you know this as well as I do. The Democrats have surrendered their cities to the criminals. I mean, we already know as we sit here today on Friday, there's going to be crime, murders, and arson in Chicago and Los Angeles. And this whole idea that Joe Biden wants to fund the police, that's a gimmick. Because Tammy, even if you have 1,000 police officers, if they're not prosecuting these career criminals, they're back on the street. It's a game. The Democrats have abandoned law and order. That's why we need people like Gail in Congress, because the Democrats do not care about the crime. Those, Tammy, the Antifa, the Black Lives Matter, the criminals, the career criminals, that's the Democratic base, and they don't put their base in jail.
You see, Leo, that's a great point, because Gail, as I've noted, it's one thing about funding the police, but what we hear constantly at the federal level is rhetoric from office holders and these activists that condemn law and order, that condemn infrastructure. And isn't that, in a way, when you're running for, yes, you'd be representing New Hampshire, but it's like every voice matters because we're all in this together.
Oh, we are all in this. In fact, I went down to the southern border. I was so concerned about not just security, our national security, but also about the fentanyl that's coming up to New Hampshire and killing, literally killing our young generation. I went down there. I got the endorsement from the National Border Patrol Council, and I was very proud to get that because I understand that we have to close the border. We have to get back to the stay in Mexico policy. It was working under President Trump. We have to get back to that. We have so many problems in this country right now. And one of the things we have to do is stop throwing money at things that aren't important and start spending our money where it is important. Yes. And that is law and order, and that is giving the police and Border Patrol and all the law enforcement out there the tools they need to do the job.
Yes, and Leo, great point. You got about 10 seconds here because this is about the lawless DAs, isn't it? And George Gascon in LA is a perfect example of that.
Absolutely. And let me be very clear to Mayor Lightfoot, to the mayor in L.A., in New York. Attack your Democratic prosecutors. Force them to do something and lock up these career criminals. Stop allowing them back on the street.
Well, thank you, both of you. Great job. And Gail, good luck to you. It sounds like you're going to be good for New Hampshire. Leo, thanks for joining me on this Friday. More.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.